All right, let's reset it for you. Right now, Steven Leight is your race leader. Marcos Ambrose, our pole sitter, is in second. Jason Keller is third. Jamie McMurray fourth. Danny O'Quinn runs fifth. Now, a lot of these guys are still going to have to make stops. We have people all over the board on pit sequence. You're just going to have to roll with us on this, folks. We'll point them out to you as they peel off. But remember this, the race leader, Steven Leight, of all the guys, other than Danny O'Quinn, he also pitted at lap 75. Everybody else has at least 20 laps more than those two cars as we get ready to finally go back to green flag racing here on lap number 140 at Memphis. Please, guys, no crashes. Bouncing down that back straightaway. So far, so good. Can we make it through 3 and 4? Dario Franchitti hung out on the outside there.
And Marty, going into turn 3, that looks to be the problem area. They're all stacking up back there again. No caution flag yet, but they were all over each other.
That's Brandon Miller, and boy, Dario is getting past. Now the 22 of Mike Bliss going under. On board with Jason Leffler. He is right behind those two. And look at the sun beginning to become a factor going down that back straightaway.
That's going to hurt these guys going down into 3 here in a little bit.
Yeah, because nobody, I think, planned for a sun visor effect going into that because we thought we'd be done by now.
Dario's kind of hung out to dry on the outside, we call it. Not much grip on the outside of the track right now, and he's trying to get back in front of the FedEx car right there.
That's J.J. Yaley, and he's got the inside line going down into 3. That's David Reagan right behind. If Dario can't get back in the line, get back to the low line, he could be losing a lot of spots here.
Well, they call that being freight train. When you get hung on the outside the racetrack, you can't get back to the bottom. You see David Reagan going by. Now Stephen Wallace going by.
Welcome to the NASCAR Busch Series. Nobody is going to let him back in. Steven's going to try and do the same number on him going down into 3.
This is where patience, I mean, this is where I think he's going to get back in line. He has to be very, very, when you're on the outside and you want to get in, and your patience runs very thin.
Well, Steven cut him a break right there and let him pull down in front of him, get him back to the bottom of the racetrack, and it was a good move. I like how he let him do that. I'm thinking, come on, son, help the kid out.
That's right.
But he has dropped all the way back to his lowest position. Vince Welch, he's back to 14th.
One of the things that really hits home when you listen to the spotter and the communication with the driver during a situation like that where Franchitti's getting freight trained is how important the spotter is at a racetrack like this. Lauren Rainier is the spotter for Franchitti in the 42 today, on the radio almost nonstop with Dario, particularly during that last session, making him aware of where drivers are coming up as you see another caution out.
Yeah, unfortunately, the 47 of Kelly Bires managed to turn it around in the exit of turn 2. It doesn't look like he's done too much damage, but guess what? We have now tied the record for cautions here at Memphis at 16. So just when we thought we might get a little more legs underneath us, another caution flag comes out here at Memphis Motorsports Park.
One thing I was noticing during that run, the 99 car, he couldn't get away from the 29 car. Those guys are locked in. The 99 car, Ruderman has been able to pull away from a lot of guys, and right there in that run, the 29 was on his bumper.
Well, right now, Marty, it looks like the 90 car, Steven Leight said, hey, enough's enough. I got to get this thing down pit road, put some tires on it, get some gas on it. Vince?
They're going to do just tires and fuel here. They're pretty happy with the way the car is handling. Of course, they haven't had many green flag runs, long green flag runs to experience it, but just tires and fuel for the 90. And we spoke a moment ago with Bruce Cook. This is his first time as the crew chief on this car. He had been the car chief. Cully Barraclaw had been the crew chief, but he'd moved over to the 88. So it's the first time for Cook running it from up top on the box, and his driver's having a good day.
And as he pulls back out, several other cars come in. We should point out a break for Carl Edwards. Before the yellow came out, he was able to get around Brian Keselowski. The significance, that makes Carl the Aaron's lucky dog this time. So he will be back on the lead lap. We'll have 32 cars on the lead lap when we go back to green flag racing. Carl Edwards will be 32nd, and there are the points as of right now. The magic number again is the key, 585 or more, and it's Carl's championship. And right now, David Ruderman is still alive.
Well, another good break for Carl Edwards, getting the lucky dog, get back in the lead lap, and Right now, it's just get the car handling good, Randy. Make sure this thing is where he needs to have it so he can race himself back up from the field. And I know he wants to leave this race with the championship so bad. He don't want this thing to go on to Texas and on to Phoenix and on.
Well, you know what? It's better than, having to wait to the last lap of the last race. When you can lock something up 3 to go. I mean, my first championship, I had to go, 10 to go at Miami, the last race of the year before I won the championship. You didn't know who was going to win it. And, it was nice enough the second year to lock it up at Rockingham.
All right, as you see Carl pulling in for some more work, we can update you on Marcos Ambrose. Our pole sitter has now moved into the race lead here on lap number 148, and Alan Bestwick has more.
Marty, these races are moving targets, and as the events of the day unfold, teams have to adjust their strategy. Crew Chief Greg Connor for Marcos Ambrose has adjusted his strategy. They pitted back at lap 95. We're one of the very few cars to pit at that point. Most of the others leaders pitted at lap 119. They stayed on the track. They've stayed out on the track now. I just spoke with Greg a second ago. I said, are you good to go the rest of the way on fuel? He said, not yet. We were planning on stopping once more, but the more caution laps we get, the closer we get to being able to stay out. Right now, we're about 15 caution laps away from making the finish on fuel, and if I get to that window, why do I want to get back in all that mess?
Good point. Very good point.